What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Joel Friday TV podcast. I am Joel Friday. Bienvenido. Welcome to the show. Amazing stuff. Before we get started here, do me a favor, hit that like button, smack it, lay the smack down on like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and the message out. Do it now. Do it now. Help a brother out. Amazing stuff. It's Wednesday. It is my second to last show day of the week. Tomorrow is my last day of the week, and then I'm back on Monday. But there's some talks. There's some talks about possibly adding Joel Friday to the Friday schedule. Would you guys want to see it? Would you want to see Joel Friday on a Friday? Yes or no? Yes or no? Let me know. Topics to be covered. Oh, we're going to get into it. The road is narrow. We're going to talk about the narrow path. And it might get spicy. I don't know what the Lord's going to bring, right? But if you can't handle the heat today, you might want to just hop off the stream. You might want to just go join the cheerleading squad. You know what I mean? You might want to go be a stay-at-home dad or be a career-driven woman. If you can't take the heat, hop off the live. Because we're going to get into some... The route is narrow. It is narrow for a reason. And we're going to get into it. It is a talk show. You can call in at 888-775-3773. If you disagree or agree, you want a fellowship or fight, I'm here for all of it in the name of Jesus. So you can call in 888-775-3773 and do that. If for whatever reason you can't call in, because I know we are live, I'm live at 11 on a work week. So if you can't call in, but you still have a question or comment, you can send a super chat. You can go to the live chat and click the super chat button, and you can send your question or comment there, or just support the show, or go directly to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV. The link is in the description, and there you can donate a donation in the form of a donut, or vice versa, and send your question or comment there. And from there, I will read them live on air. You know what I'm saying? So you do have that option. Amazing stuff. I am on all audio platforms. So if you just want to listen to audio only, not live, I'm not live on these platforms, but if you want to listen to any of the past shows, but you can't watch the video or it's taking up too much data or whatever, and you just need the audio, you can pull up Joel Friday TV podcast on Apple Music. No, it's not. Apple Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, Substack, all those, I'm on there. So you do have that option. Amazing stuff. What's going on, chat? How we doing? Shout out to my mods. The old and the new, holding it down. Oh, and to the mods that were made a mod without like asking to be made a mod. There's no pressure to have to like rise to the occasion. If you don't want to be a mod, that's okay. Let me know in the chat. I'll unmod. Right? There's no pressure to have to be watching a show every day and make sure you give out all the stuff. Like, just let it be natural. If you want to do those things, cool. If not, then it's not a big deal. So, no expectation here. Amazing stuff. C-Sal says, I love being a mod. Right on, C-Sal. See, appreciate that. Zenny said, we modding. That's right. See? See, I got some good mods. Appreciate that. Let's get to it because there are some things I want to get into. Great show by the Hake Report with Krishan the Don, who is a friend of Bond. I've met him before in person. I've had conversations with him before outside of Bond. And like James said, we've debated and spoke with him on air. And decent guy, real decent guy. I like Krishan. I don't care that he uses the N-word. People care about that stuff. I don't care that he showed his gun on the live stream. Don't care about that stuff. What the? He's a decent guy, and he's tough. And we need more tough people. So I respect Krishan, the Don. And it was a good interview with Hake and Krishan on the show. So podcast that if you missed it. For the Joel Friday TV listeners who aren't familiar with Hake, which most of them I'm sure are, you can podcast the Hake Report, and they talked about judgment from the Bible, racism, black people, white people, all kinds of stuff, politics. So check that out. Anyway. It's interesting. It's an interesting topic that I'm talking about today because it's like I heard JLP say one time on on his show that if you're not ready to get on that narrow path and go the distance, don't. Because you don't want to intellectually seek God and find yourself in this overwhelming amount of conflict, which is why a lot of people tend to like go back the other way. And it's true, because you want to make sure that you're led to these things. Because it's not a game. Once you start seeing life from the spiritual realm, and you start waking up, it's not a game. And because you start to see how much really Satan is against you and how he's really doing all he can to bring you down. And then you start to see it in people, and you start to see the evil in people. And before, it was just all jokes and fun before you started waking up, right? And it was like, you didn't really see things for what they were, so you would let things go, or you would think that people actually mean well and you know that they're not being nice to you. But when you start waking up and your eyes are opening, you start to see that people have an agenda and they're being controlled by that evil within. And some people want to hurt you, and some people want to hurt you intentionally. And they want to control you and use you and they hate you and they want to pull you down. And it's crazy. It's a crazy thing. And the more you're serious about walking that narrow path, the more you see. And it's insane. But it's great at the same time, and it's not scary when you're getting there naturally, right? It's not scary because God's light, when you're seeing these things, you're seeing it from the light, and the light has strength and understanding, and that and it protects you from fear and all these things, right? So it's not like you're just this scared person walking down this path. No, like you're protected and you're guided with this strength. But it's still insane. It's crazy. Because the crazy part is like the people who turn on you. That's the crazy part, is that you've never meant harm to anybody, right? And doesn't mean you didn't make mistakes, or you didn't hurt nobody yourself, or you didn't misstep or anything like that. But it is crazy when people just flip on you and they just turn on. And I have some examples that I'm gonna bring today, but they just leave. They just leave, and then blame you, and then kick you, even though they were wrong and they turned on you. It's just the craziest thing. And sometimes, as you're overcoming, you're still your feelings are still involved. So it's not always like painless, right? Sometimes it affects you, because sometimes it'll be people that you genuinely like, or appreciate the friendship, whether it's false or not, that was there, whatever. And they end up just turning on you. And even though in the moment it sucks, you're blessed for it, because what God is just taking out all the things in your life that were going to bring you destruction. So he's removing all the problems from your life. So it's a blessing. And sometimes it's hard to see at first, but that's what he's doing. And he's putting the right people in your life, but it's a lonely road too. And like I said, sometimes when you're overcoming, your feelings are involved. It feels like is there anybody else? You know what I mean? Is there anybody else? But then you keep taking you keep putting your right foot in front, your left foot in front, your right foot in front, left foot in front, and then you just start to see like, man, I'm glad they're gone. Or God is with me. And it's an amazing thing. But what Satan does during the narrow route is that he puts so many things in front of you, right? And to destroy you. And God allows this because he wants you to grow, right? He wants you to grow in strength and discipline. So he allows these things to happen. And what they do is they put us in these certain situations, and they present certain opportunities that are all glittery and shiny, right? And he shows you how everybody else in the world seem to be profiting from these glittery and shiny opportunities. And everybody's happy using them. And they're not. They're miserable. But it's up to the person walking the narrow route. Are they willing to continue to seek the truth, or are they going to continue to allow themselves to be subject to the ego? And I want to give a couple of examples that have happened in my life that have just been like, they blindsided. They were like, they popped up right in front of my face so loud, but God was able to continue to lead me throughout these situations. And I want to share some of those. And maybe you guys can relate, maybe not. But I was in the insurance industry for a little while, like short-lived, less than a year. And it was so not like my style, my cup of tea, but there was a point in time where I was like, just struggling, trying to just make more money, make extra money, and just out in the world on my own, right? And it was at a time where I was just like really like out there. Like I took a risk and just was like on my own in all aspects of life. And I was like, dang, I need to make some extra money. So an opportunity to join the insurance agency popped up, And at first I was kind of like, this seems kind of fishy, but some told me just to go check it out. I checked it out. And, I was like, okay, I can, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to do this whole thing, but I could see how it can be helpful to make extra money. So I'm going to do it. So I was doing it and, making a little extra money, or it was a process. Didn't make extra money at first, but I was doing it, trying to learn the system, learn how to do it. And obviously in industries like this, the shiny golden object is the money you can make from it, right? That's the gold. So, it was very, I saw the opportunity, right? So I'm learning the trade. I'm learning the skill sets of an insurance agent. I'm learning all these things, reading these books and like learning how to like do it properly. Meanwhile, still trying to like hold true to what I believe is moral and right and just, right? So already off the bat, I'm seeing that the way I live my life and the way these people in the industry in the insurance live their lives totally different. We're two different people. But I also see how there's an opportunity here to make money if you do it right. So I'm continuing to do my thing. Long story short, I'm growing and growing in the company, and I'm getting better. I'm getting more comfortable, and I'm building my skill sets, and I'm seeing all these things. And one thing in the insurance industry is that you constantly have to go seek after people, meaning like you have to go get the prospects. So there's a lot of cold approaches. You got to go to the mall, talk to people. You got to do this. You got to make calls. You got to follow up, right? It's always chasing people. And I would do that, but it just wasn't working for me. So one time, we were at a meeting. It was a big meeting, and the insurance industry I was in, it was growing. So there was a lot of people involved. So I think it was like 100 to 150 people at these meetings. And before they start the meeting, they do this these warm up exercises to kind of get the vibe right in the building. So they would like open up the circle and have people like who are new go in the middle and like do some dance moves to kind of break the ice. You know what I mean? And one time, right before we're starting the meeting, they knew I danced. So they asked me to go up and do some dance moves, and I'm like, what the? But I had to do it, right? So I get up and I'm doing some dance moves. Not like this, right? Some actual dance moves, like I'm busting it out. And it was quick, like 20 seconds, and I left, and then like, everybody's like, they clap. Whether you did good or not, they clap. And somebody recorded it. So they recorded and they sent it to me, and I didn't think nothing of it. It was like, whatever. And I posted it on my Instagram, and it was nothing crazy, just posted it and thought it was just kind of cool. I think weeks passed, and somebody had sent me another video. I was like, oh, this is a better angle. And I was just posting a post, and I posted that one, and it went viral. And it got like over like 30 million views, and I was getting all kinds of like, it was weird. It was because it kept going up, and it kept going up, and then it was like 1 million. And I was like, wow, this is serious. Then it got to 2 million, and 5 million, 10 million, and then it just went crazy. But from that, I started to get calls for insurance. I was like, what the? And in the insurance industry, they tell you all the ways you got to go find a way to make the money. Like, you got to go get the contacts. But contacts were reaching out to me through social media. So then I was like, wow, this is crazy. I was getting all kinds of contacts. Everybody wanted to just get insurance just because of the video that went viral. It was the weirdest thing. So then I'm like, I'm going to capitalize off of this. So I changed my name to the dancing insurance guy. That was my thing for a little while. Right? I was the dancing insurance guy. And even that picked up. And then people were calling me saying like, hey, can I talk to the dance insurance guy? And I was like, this is crazy. And because of that, I started getting more business and more business kept coming in. And so then what I did was like, you know what? I need to make more dance videos. So I started making dance and insurance guy videos. This is a true story. So I was making these videos and the videos were going viral too. They kept going viral, kept getting a bunch of views on them. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. And then I was making money because people wanted insurance. So calls were coming in, views were coming in, followers were going up. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But then I started to see like, then the insurance started demanding more of my time. And mind you, I had the dance studio going. I had my regular job that I was still working. Like I still had a life. And the insurance, I didn't want to be an insurance agent. You know what I mean? Like I just wanted to like be an agent just to make some money on the side. But it started demanding more of my time. And then, long story long, is it started having to become a priority. And then I started to think, and I was making good money too. And at that time I was still a trainee. So I had to split half of my commissions with my trainer. And I was so close to becoming an independent insurance agent. No trainer needed. I was right there. Like I was actually doing meetings on my own and I could have went full time with it. And the opportunity was there. The money was coming in. I was making money. It was great. But I realized that I have zero interest in doing this. And I know it's not about liking your job or loving your job. I totally understand it and I agree with that. But like, it just, like, I was there faking it. Right? Like, and the reason why it became an issue was because of the fact that like these people who you're giving insurance to, you're giving insurance to them for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. You know what I mean? Like this is long-term insurance. And then they're trusting you that you're giving them the best policy. So you got to make sure you're doing the research. You got to make sure that you're understanding where their situation in their lives, their family situation. There's a lot that goes into it. You got to commit to this. And then in 20 years, when they want to change their insurance policy, they want to know that they're going to talk to the very person that started them because they know their case. And I'm thinking like, that's not what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be, you know, their lifetime insurance agent. I'm not trying to study insurance. So I'm like, you know what? This is not for me. But the crazy thing is I had to, in that moment, I had to realize that, what am I going to do? Am I going to go down the lane of my views are going up, my videos are going up, the money's going up, I'm getting clients. Do I take that or do I get back to my lane? And I had to make a decision. Because obviously everybody wants the money coming in. But I knew that it was off. It was wrong. So I had to let it go. And then everybody was like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? You were doing so well. All these things. But it wasn't sitting right with me. And I had to let it go. All the money go, all that stuff. I had to let it go. And I say all that to say is that for me, in my opinion, I had to stick on a route. I had to stay on a route. And the route gets narrow. And the route had to get more narrow for me in that moment. So I let that go. Boom, gone. And it was kind of hard because then I felt like I let people down because there was people who had bought insurance from me, all this kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. So that was kind of tough, but I knew that I had to keep moving. So I let it go. Boom. And there just been different situations in my life to where those opportunities come up and you have to make a decision. And many people, and I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody, but many people will just go with the money or go with this because it's so clear. It's so like laid out for you. But they don't stop to think that, you know, the long term, the bigger picture. But God allowed me to see that, you know, my time is up here. And they wanted me to do all kinds of crazy things. I didn't even tell you the full story, and I don't need to, but they wanted me to do all kinds of things that was just not for me. I'm like, are you serious? The insurance industry is not a scam. The way it's set up is not a scam. The people are scammers. People can be the scammers. The job itself is not a scam because I was making money. I wasn't even doing much. I wasn't selling my soul. Wasn't doing none of that stuff. I wasn't lying to people. As a matter of fact, the more truthful I was, the more people wanted to share their number with their other people. Share my number with the other people. More other clients. So it's the people that are scammers. But anyway, I had to make a decision. So moving on with life, there came a situation where, hold on. Hillary says annuities, cha-ching, annuities. That's a whole, Hillary knows. Because there's this thing in the insurance industry that if you give somebody an annuity, like open an annuity account for them, the amount of money you can make from those things are insane. That's like the goal of the people in the insurance industry. They want to hook people up with annuities because it benefits the person, but also the agent gets a crazy check. So that was that. But anyway, and then I'm going to get to some of you guys' super chats and stuff. Let me just finish the story. Yeah, after I got out that, I had to change my name from the Dancer Insurance Guy back to whatever I had it. And I had to take a hit because I wasn't making videos as much. I wasn't doing these things and I was trying, but it just wasn't happening. It wasn't the same. But I had to take a hit. But that's so crazy is that was Satan trying to get me hooked on things that don't matter. To get me locked in on things that don't matter. Because now the followers stopped growing at that time, right? The followers had stopped growing. The money stopped coming in. I had to change the name. People were like, what happened to the insurance guy? And I had to take that hit, go back to like check to check. But I knew within that I had to keep it moving. So that was that situation. Then, because guys deal with this a lot. Carver said with the super chat, when you quit the job, did you dance out the office? I danced out the office. Sad. Trying to find every excuse to go back. No, not really, but I had to make this choice. But thanks, Carver, for the super chat. But anyway, fast forward. In the topic of men and men wanting women, so that in topic of men wanting women, I had a situation here as well to where another crossroad, right? And another temptation to want to go left. So I was and I ain't gonna tell you guys all my business. So the details ain't gonna get that juicy. But I was around where I live in the mornings. I used to go like run on my route. I used to have a little route I used to run. And on the route, at the end of it, I would like walk, right? I would walk up this hill. And there was always this girl that used to pass by me as well. And she used to walk. And, you know, I would look and she would look. She was a pretty girl. And we would look, we both look. And one time I just said, hey, I just, put the hand up. How you doing, neighbor? That type of vibe. And she would just say hi. And that's just what it was. I wasn't trying to go out my way or do none of that stuff. I was just saying hi. And we just kept saying hi every day. No extra talking, no extra effort being put in. Nobody was risen, nothing. And then the hi turned into like, how are you? How's it going? How's your day? Boom, boom, boom. Just small talk. But we would just be passing each other. Then one day, she decided that she wanted to do more. So one day, after a while, she started dressing different, right? She started wearing different clothes, cuter outfits, cuter workout outfits, right? Didn't matter if it was cold, if it was raining. She's in a short shirt, shorts. Like her whole vibe is different. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting, just watching it. And mind you, she's looking like Rachel. Remember from yesterday? Beautiful figure, everything. She's looking good. But I'm just watching it. And she's like making it more obvious. So one day, I guess she had enough. Her and her little dog were walking, and she had this, she brought out this suit. Lord have mercy when I tell you guys this suit. This suit was like skin tight, all black, I don't know, leotard type of vibe. Nothing on underneath it. Zero, right? So leotard showing everything. Skin tight, probably 2 sizes too small, because that's what the ladies do, right? They buy it really, really, really tight, so that way it looks more than what it is. It's a trick. It's a trick that they do. But she got this leotard that's on real tight, real snug, showing everything. I'm telling you guys. When I tell you show everything, she might as well have just not had anything on. She was showing everything. And she walked past me, and I was like, I noticed it. But when I noticed it, for me, I'm like, she thought that it was attracting me. For me, it turned me off more, because now I'm like, now what are you doing? What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? So I said hi. I was like, hey. And then she stopped. And then I was like, what's your name? And then she told me your name. And then she told me your dog's name. And I was like, oh, okay, well, nice to meet you. And she was kind of like nice about it and all that stuff, and walked away. And from that day forward, everything changed for her. She started changing the route. She started ignoring me. She started doing all this thing. She was so, and this is just my opinion, right? Because I can't read her mind, but the signs were all there. She was so embarrassed, I think, because of the fact that she went out her way to change her whole outfit, do all these things, and look this certain way to hook me. She was trying to hook me. It was very deceptive. Trying to hook me. And don't get me wrong, Satan get busy, I'm trying to be appropriate, right? But I can see that it was just insane. And plus, I don't want that type of female. So I already knew I wasn't into her. I wasn't into it like that. But Satan was just being tempting. It was very tempting. She's beautiful, the whole thing. So at that point, she stopped going up the route. She stopped. She didn't want to say. I would say hi, and then she would give me a half one. You know what I mean? She wouldn't even look at me no more. And then I got to a point where she just stopped even. She would pass the block. I would watch her pass the block, and she wouldn't even go up the hill that she always go up every day. She wouldn't even go up the hill no more. She got going around the hill. I was like, this is so insane. But I say all that to say is that I dodged a bullet, for one, because she already don't like me, and we ain't saying nothing but more than 3 words to me. How you hate me already? But that's the ego, right? That's the ego. And those are the type of women that will do crazy things. I don't know her, right? And she may not do crazy things, right? But that's the type of energy and attitude you don't want to be around. Stay far away from me. Because how you already mad at me and avoiding me, don't even want to say hi, don't even want to do these things, and I don't even know you, you don't even know me. We said 3 words to each other. Because she couldn't control me is why she was embarrassed. Because I didn't give in to her seductive naked self. And I say that to say that from that situation, I learned too, like, you got to just keep it moving. Keep it moving. So from there, the route just kept getting more narrow. Then I learned from that, like, they're trying to hook you. Stay away from that energy. Just because she's beautiful and she looks good doesn't mean nothing. 0 at all, actually. As a matter of fact, I'm starting to believe that if she's too beautiful, she's Satan. Satan working in her, right? If she looked that good, if she looked like perfect on the outside, she is evil on the inside. So from there, it just kept getting more and more narrow. And I realized this too, is that, and I'm going to get to, you can call in 888-775-3773. We have some lines open. I just got to get this part out, and then we'll go from there. And then I'll get to some of your guys' comments here, see what you guys have to say. But I learned from there is that us guys got to stop catering to this stuff, because these girls are they're just trying to hook you. They're meaning like just control. These type of females, right? These type of females just want to control, and they control with sex and sensualism and all this stuff, because that's their only false sense of power, that they feel in control because they're so insecure. And us guys just give into it. And it's hard. I'm not even going to lie to you. And I understand it's hard. It's not easy. And I thank God for allowing me to understand and see these certain things. And it's not easy, but we got to beware. But guys got to stop catering to it. And let me tell you why. Because what I learned from that situation is that she was unwilling to die to her ego. Because if she really was interested in me, I wouldn't have not talked to her. But if she was really that interested, she would have came correct. You know what I mean? She would have came correct. But us guys don't make women come correct. Meaning, like, we don't make them stop the game, stop the control by not giving into it. And all she had to do was just come correct and be genuine. And then maybe we could have had a conversation. Maybe it could have been something. But I realized that from that situation too, is that, like, when a man stands his ground and he does the right thing, the right woman or the right women to be around you will break through their false identity and make it obvious that they're interested, right? The ones that play so hard to get, and the ones that have this guard up, and the ones that make you chase them are not the one. Are not the one. And ladies, if you disagree with it, you guys can let me know. But the ones who make you do all this extra stuff are not the ones. The right ladies are the ones that are willing to deny their ego because they see that a man wants what's right. They see the light in the man. So they'll break through this false wall of ego and go after you. And not in the sense where they're going to get all crazy and weird and try to be desperate. Not like that. But they'll just make it obvious that they're interested. They're not into doing the game. Because a good woman recognizes all women, good or whatever. I'm just using words right, good and bad. But all women recognize, even the ones in the fallen state, recognize the light in a man when they see it. They may not understand what they see, but they recognize a man when they see a man. All of them do. All of them do. And they're better at choosing than men are choosing women. Because men just think in like stupid ways, like sexual ways. Women aren't thinking in sexual ways at all times. Like they have some kind of weird sense God put in them that they can recognize a good man when they see one. And there's some that are willing to put their ego aside to get on board. And that's the way it's supposed to happen. That's the way it's supposed to work. The man is supposed to attract the woman. But the only way that's going to happen is that if men stay on the narrow route and start allowing that light to come through them and not giving in to the women. And then women will start changing because they just want to be around the light. You know what I'm saying? So guys got to stop chasing and catering to women and just be right and do right and love women properly just by doing the right thing. And they'll break away from all this ego stuff. And they'll be open and transparent with you and not try to hide or play no game. But men have to accept this. You may not get married. You may not get a woman. You may not have a family. You got to accept that. Men and women have to accept that. Accept that. And that's hard to do because we want to have a family. That's nice. You want to have children. That's nice. You want to be married and all that stuff. It's great. Great stuff. And it could be godly. But you shouldn't want that over all things. You should accept whatever God has planned for you, whatever God will be done. And when we can get there, then we won't be controlled by all these things. You know what I mean? So I want to say this to the men, the women too, but I want to talk directly to the men on this one. If you don't commit to doing what's right, meaning like working on yourself, and you're not, and you're just like not doing what you know you need to do, and doing what you see is necessary. And I don't mean by actions or words or saying the right things or doing good deeds, but I'm talking about your heart, being honest with yourself, getting to know yourself. If you're not, you're a coward. You're a coward, you're a coward, you're a coward. And at one point in my life, I had to admit that to myself. I had to say, I'm a coward. And we're not really these things, right? But we got to be honest about our behavior. I had to face that in myself. I said, I'm a coward. Why? Because I'm not committing. And that's fine. If you're not going to commit, that's fine. Because maybe you're not ready, and that's okay too. You don't want to force it. But then be honest and say, I'm a coward though. I did it with myself. But these are obstacles that you have to go through as the route gets narrower and narrower and narrower and narrower. I don't even know if that's a word, but it's working. narrower and narrower. This is what happens. But guess what? Through all of that, God is rewarding you internally. He's rewarding you internally. And yeah, the money may not, all this, like all the riches and fancy stuff may not be happening, or it may not be there, or whatever, right? Or it may just not be there yet. Because God's not going to have you poor. That's for sure. But he wants you not needing this stuff, but he's rewarding you the riches within. Peace, joy, love, insight, confidence, light. That's where it's at. And you only find that when you commit. And if you don't commit, you're a coward. And that's just the honest truth. And everybody else is suffering for it. And you're not responsible for other people. But imagine Jesus said, you know what, never mind. Never mind. What does that mean for us? Then we'll be in like the Old Testament. We'll be like Jacob with 2 wives and 4 servants and 12 children. You know what I mean? But Jesus committed to the death when the time was right. So I'm not saying beat yourself up about it. I'm not saying judge yourself when you mess up and all that stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying be honest. Be honest about your situation at all times. Anyway. Show the power. Let me get to some calls. There's some lines open, 888-775-3773. And then I want to see what you guys are saying in the chat. I didn't get a chance to watch it at all, but I know you guys are probably going crazy. Like, what the? Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. Rick, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's going on there, Joel Friday, my brother? What's going on?
Hey, Rick, how's it going? All is well.
Fine. I got a question there, Joel. You know, I know Jesse and I hear you too, and I think I understand what y'all was saying. You know when you say don't chase women?
Yeah.
I guess what I'm asking is, let's say like you go to an event, and you see a lady who you possibly may like.
Yeah.
You know, would it be wrong to approach her, or that would be like chasing women?
Man, that's such a good one, because this happens a lot. I realize that, and this is just my opinion. I could be wrong, but this is just my opinion. Is that I realize that just because you're looking at somebody and they're looking at you, and you guys both make eye contact and you guys both feel that same thing and have that same intention, that doesn't mean that it's right. It's a good thing. I look at, because I look at it as that, allow life to just happen. And I realized that when I went out my way to do those things, like, so say, to answer your question, so say if I see the pretty girl or whatever the case is, and unless I had a reason to go do it, the only reason why I got up in the first place to go talk to her is because I wanted something from her. And when I want something from her, then I'm going to do what I can to hold on to it. And then you may lie, you may, put your best foot forward, and those aren't like signs of
that she's the right
one. Yeah, that she's the right one, exactly. And because you want to be able to, and obviously it's okay to do these things, right? To see for yourself and grow. But
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that every time that someone who has came into my life, or a friendship that was decent, or whatever it is, from like a female, like dating or friendship or whatever, is that it was in front of me, not because I see that I wanted it, but it was necessary for me in that moment. And I couldn't have known that. It had to be made clear to me that um this was the right moment for it to happen. I don't know if that's if I'm even making sense here, but when I didn't force it, or those are the situations to where it always tend to work out the best for me.
Yeah, because the reason why I bring that up for that, brother Joe, I see what you're saying. Like, hey, if it happened, let it happen. Because so many men that do that. We're like, hey, I may not see this lady again.
Right.
And we think we have all that going, and a lot of times we're thinking sexual, just like you said, and that's the key too. I notice Jesse always says, when you're dating somebody, don't have sex with them. Because when
Yeah.
you have sex with them, you get spiritually blind, or you get unconscious. I like when y'all say that. You get
Yeah.
unconscious, and then you don't see who the real person is.
Yeah.
And then you'll be that guy saying, oh, when I married her, she did a 360 on me. I was
Right.
there all the time. You was just so covered up with the sex, man. You didn't even care about that at the moment.
Right. And the imagination is playing the tricks on you. The imagination saying she might be the one. She's feeling you like you're feeling her. You guys are looking at each other, when that's not how, that's an agenda. You know what I mean? That's an agenda. And then you'll go out your way to try to make it work and all those things. And it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be take it or leave it. And when you're just doing your own thing and you're on track and you're focused on whatever's in front of you to do, the woman will come out of nowhere, and you may not even be able to recognize that it's for you or not, but you won't be like worried about whether she stays or she doesn't stay, because you're not attracted to her for the false reasons, the sex, or the she could be a potential mother, or blah blah blah.
And you're right, Joy. It's like, oh man, it's like dating. It's like, and then you got the feminist movement. I see men going overseas trying to find love.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. That was maybe I asked that. I mean,
Yeah.
I had a young lady ask me that. She's like, does she ever met no one? And I guess I was, well, are you making yourself available? Not that I'm and you're chasing. I mean,
Yeah.
do you just, make yourself available? If you sit up in a house 24/7, of course you're not going to meet anyone,
Yeah.
So that's what made me ask that question.
Well, even that.
Time,
Well, even that though. Even that though, Rick. To be honest, in my opinion, and like I said, I could be wrong. Even that though is that people think that if they don't leave the house, they're not gonna find. That's also a setup to me. To me, it's like it'll land right in your lap, knock on your door, type of thing. Now I know that's like, I'm not saying literal, but when you're just doing your normal life thing. Because even going out your way to, I got to be out more, or I'll never meet somebody. I got to do this more, or I'll never meet. It's still like making that important. It's still trying to do certain things to try to make sure you're available for the right situation. I'm saying that not even, say if you never leave the house, you never leave the house, type of thing. It'll still, if God wants it to be there, it'll make a way there somehow. And that's why we need to learn how to not make those things too important. Because if we could take it or leave it, then we could see clear.
Yeah, you got a point there, Joel, because this got have like a self-control, because I think
Oh, Rick, your phone.
it was never a bond there. It was either love or I even heard people going and getting married for business reasons. I heard it all.
Rick, you're breaking up. You're breaking up, and I have to end the show right now as well. So you're breaking up, Rick. I'm sorry, I gotta hang up on you. because I'm out of time as well. Sorry, Rick, you're breaking up, and I'm out of time. So we'll have to talk tomorrow. We'll pick back up on this tomorrow. But I got to end. But EJ says, why you have to make this so complicated? I probably am making it complicated. Let me say the last thing. I probably am making it complicated, but what I'm saying is not wrong. Meaning, like, in my opinion, of course, I got to say that. But, like, it shouldn't be that complicated. Go live life. Go do these things and go see for yourself. And like I said, I could be wrong, right? But if you're watching yourself, these are things that I've done. And throughout my process, these are the things I learned. I'm explaining it in a complicated way because there's so many layers to get into the truth, right? To the truth of things. But it shouldn't be that complicated in the fact that if this doesn't make sense, it's not clear to you, then do live your life. And don't listen to nobody else trying to tell you what you need to do. If you want to see a girl, she's pretty, or you see a guy and you guys looking at each other, making eye contact, it feels electric, sparks are flying, go find out if that's real or not. Don't listen to me. But these are things that I've learned in my life that I see to be true, and how those things have got me in trouble. And for me, so you do you. But I got to end. I didn't even cover everything. It seems like I did because I talk so much. But anyway, I got to end. American Anchor Baby's coming up. We'll pick back up on some other stuff or the topic tomorrow. You can call in if there's if you want to get in, make a point about it. Joel Friday TV across the board, and JLP Network for all the hosts. I got to go, y'all. Super chats. I will get to those things first thing tomorrow. I will get to super chats before the show starts. Moderators, remind me. All right, guys, got to go. Bye.